Hey, welcome back to Checkpoint on Campus. Jacob Brothers here, joined by Dominic Shotson, and we are talking to a very special guest, the first champion of the Level Next Madden 21 Fall Champion Series. Long title, but big title. Jacob Jwall Wallack has joined us. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, so starting with the obvious, how does it feel to be the first champion of such a highly watched and highly paying out, such a big collegiate esport event?
It's pretty cool. It was a little bit different because I've played in a lot of professional Madden events. So going into it, it was one where, there aren't as many players that are at the same level because it's collegiate players. It's not the normal people you're playing against. But still, there's a lot of good players, and to win that tournament with is super hard to do. I played a couple of people that are going to be in the club championship that I'm playing, and it feels good, I guess. And the money part feels good too.
Yeah, because when we initially covered this, because when it comes to Madden, I just watch football. I've played very little Madden, but so when this was announced, it's yeah, and here's the payout from Madden. I was like, what the heck is this about? And then I see the VOD of the championship, and there's so many people watching, more than a normal collegiate esport. And so question I have along those lines is, even though I assume you probably would have entered this tournament regardless because you're so good and this is the esport you compete in, but was having a prize pool like that another factor that got your attention?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a huge prize pool, and I don't know how, you obviously probably don't know that much about Madden, but most of the prize pool is on the club championship, which is a totally different mode. It's MUT versus this was on the regular teams. I was playing with the Packers or the Chiefs. So it is different. You have to put in separate practice to play it. And obviously that wouldn't be worth your time if it wasn't
right.
A prize pool. So it's a huge factor and ended up working out.
Yeah, man. I actually had a lot of questions about kind of the specifics with the tournament. I competed in it too. I didn't do nearly as good as you, obviously. But obviously you've competed at the highest level Madden offers. The club championship, like you said, totally different ball game. This year, 750K prize pool is huge. But this is the first time EA brought this kind of competitive scene to the collegiate level. Did you feel like there was, I know you said there was obviously people that weren't at the same kind of level of the pro ranks, but what other kind of feel did you get from it that made it feel different being collegiate versus just kind of playing MUT? Did it have kind of a different feel when you were doing conference play and such like that, or is it kind of just standard for you still?
It honestly, to answer that, it wasn't that different. It's just playing Madden, and most of the regional play, the people just weren't that good. But I had 3 or 4 games that were close, and I guess it is a little bit different because you're representing your school. But to be honest, it was pretty much just playing Madden for me.
Yeah, you probably weren't playing your actual schools rivals, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
because you were playing in a region where I bet the people in the SEC and the Big 12 were probably much more big about beating their in-state rivals. But yeah, so it's really cool though. Still, did you feel like there was anything in the tournament that they could bring over to the professional scene? Obviously we had picks and bans, which was different, and then there was a little bit of a different rule set. Obviously we had 40-second play clocks. Did you feel like any of that should be brought over to the normal competitive scene?
The big thing for me was the best of 3 format, which I think is amazing because Madden, you play it you can just get screwed in a game.
Definitely.
And right now most of the competitive stuff, once you get to the final rounds, are all single elimination. And the best of 3 worked out for me really well. You can bounce back from playing bad one game. And all in all, I just feel in a best of 3, you're going to have the better player win more of the time than in a single game. I personally, you mentioned, the picks and bans, and I don't think that's great because you can get kind of screwed by it. In the finals, I got fortunate. I got to get the Packers twice, which is a huge advantage.
Of course. Gunslinger.
Yeah, it's the best ability in the game. And Noah ended up using the Chiefs twice, which is unfortunate. So I don't think that's a fair thing to have necessarily. I understand why they had it for the tournament, but I think the big thing is best of 3. That's huge. I love that.
Yeah, man, I was watching it actually, and you went down the first game, and then you swept, the rest. So I mean, that, like you said, one game. If it was a single elimination, we're not talking to you right now, right? We're talking to Noah, which that's a big difference. The best of 3. I think that's really cool too. I would love to see them bring that to the normal scene. How did you feel about playing with regular rosters? I mean, we just kind of talked about that a little bit. There's obviously a lot of limitations. You talk about the abilities. Only one team gets Gunslinger, whereas obviously Mutt, everyone has Gunslinger. How did you feel about that? Did you feel like did it bring more, was it refreshing, or did you feel like it kind of ruined parity?
I think it's kind of fun right now in Mutt. Like, everyone's just kind of running man with like one step aheads, and the defenses and like the corners are super juiced, and it's totally different on regs. Like, Devontae Adams is just going to kill whoever you have on him. You have to it's a lot harder to get the stops on defense, I think, which makes it fun. And it's a different kind of skill gap. Also, I don't know. It's weird because a lot of people, you have like the extra routes right now in Mutt and route abilities. You don't have those in Mutt or in Reg. Sorry, for the most part, I guess, unless you use the Bucks. But the zones are worse. It's just different, and I did enjoy it. And it was fun.
The championship is a true championship. I mean, your opponent was defeated until the final 2 rounds he went through. And not only that, but I also found out through Dom that there was a little bit of some like champion, some club rivalry, because you were the Patriots club champion back last year, and then you're now with the Lions, and the person you beat is now with the Patriots. So does that add another layer of like on the best, baby?
I don't know. It was I play Noah a lot, like, because we're always playing like online tournaments. We've played a bunch this year. So it didn't really have to do with the clubs, though. Like, I just want to beat the people who are also really good and put a lot of time into it. So not having to do with the clubs, it does feel good to beat him because I think he's a really good player.
Right. I mean, while we're here, though, very quick bonus question. Is a knee-biting coach better than a rocket scientist for the Lions? I'm probably not into either, to be honest. I wanted like either Joe Brady or like Ron Dowdle. I wanted someone exciting, and like the NFL's about out scheming people, and we got a guy who just wants to punch people in the mouth. So. Right. But last question for me is so Northeastern, they've been popping up a lot recently. A lot of tournaments they've been going much deeper. Their Overwatch team's been making noise. Hearthstone in particular has been a top 5. Rocket League, you see clips all the time. And now obviously Madden. So obviously something's going right in your guys' program. So my question is, what would you say is like leading to all of this success of this year? And is 2021 the official Northeastern year?
To be honest, I'm just getting plugged in with them. I just started when the whole Madden thing started. And I honestly, I don't know. I hope so. I hope people, my peers, can do well, but I don't know enough to tell you if it's going to be our year.
Fair enough. Well, you heard it from the champion. Again, congratulations on your big win. Wish you luck in your upcoming tournaments. And we thank you so much for coming on the show. And best of luck going forward.
Thank you.